So once again we are gathering here to practice meditation. Practice of meditation, at least we have to develop three things. One is so-called the mindfulness, and the second is having the energy or effort to practice, and the third, which we have to develop, is the equanimity. Now, sometimes we want to meditate, lack of energy. We find that feeling tired because of the work that we have been doing, or because of the weather, or because of the food that we have just eaten. And despite we may have some understanding of a practice of a meditation, even though just for a short period of time it has a lots of benefit, and yet still I can do it next time, maybe I will do it tomorrow. So like that, the energy or the effort to practice decreases, or sometimes completely given up to the practice. When other times again you have strong will to do, now this is the time I must do it. I must do it, and I have given up, or I haven't done it for a long time, so let's do it. So you have lots of effort to practice. Then what happens? You cannot concentrate. Mind is everywhere, jumping here and jumping there, everywhere. And another time, it's just like, it's not my cup of tea. So we are very passive, equanimous, developing this too much equanimity, and let it be everything. Okay, so this equanimous mind. Whereas in a practice, all three we have to, working it together in all forms of the practice. So mindfulness or concentration, the effort, and equanimity. Only then we able to develop the sense of understanding that, these are there, I should not be attached to it, so let it be. And oftentimes we have developed this desire that wish I can develop this quicker. So then we try to work hard. It's like you're putting, there is simile comes, it says, you're putting the cart before the horse. So you're putting the cart before the horse. Do you think you can go further? No. You cannot. You got to be very clever. Only then you can take like that. So always keep the horse at the front and keep the cart at the back. So there's a practice, that's why we should not expect too much in the practice either. That, okay, with this practice today I must get concentration, I must get this or get that, and I must relax and this and that, like that. No. We have to let these expectation and desire to settle, and then employing these three qualities, a concentration or mindfulness, sufficient energy or effort, and the sufficient knowledge of let it be, equanimous mind. If we can let it be, then what happens? We just relax in this present moment, here and now. So there is no desire, there is no expectation. It's simply being here and now. And when we be here and now, if you look at around, You have given up so many things, and you have stopped thinking of that too. Have you stopped thinking of something that you have left? You are motivated, or maybe you have this mindset of, I want to meditate here in the center. So you came and you have given up everything, so stop thinking. So another quality is the practice makes us to stop things. That is normally unwholesome states. So it reminds me now the story of Angulimala. So the Angulimala, who was the serial killer, he killed so many people, and according to the scripture it says that he had a power of able to deal with 40 people at one time. So if 40 people comes, he would be able to defeat them. That much skill, that a power he had. So he was living in the forest, and he was killing whoever passed by and collecting the thumbs, and he was making a garland. That's why his name is Angulimala. Anguli means the finger, thumbs. Mala means the garland. So killing and collecting one thumb, making the garland. So he had to kill 1,000 people. So 1,000 thumbs he needed. And this story spread, and people began to complain or put the petition to the king, and eventually king decided to go and put him down. But before the king Pasandi, along with the 500 soldiers, good soldiers, he was marching towards the forest. But before him arriving, Buddha already there. Buddha, when the story says, normally Buddha sits down in a meditation early morning and looks down that who should I, or who is able to understand the Dhamma. And then in his aura or in his vision, someone will appear every single day, and he would travel and enlighten that person. So on that morning, this Angulimala appeared, and like a boom, Angulimala appears and wandering in the forest there, and then investigates his capability to understand. So then the Buddha decided to go straight away towards his area, and along the way he passed through the villages and villagers, and then they were saying that should not go that way. There is the Angulimala who's always killing people going through that way, and the Buddha did not listen, so he continued to walk towards him. And then when Angulimala met him, and there comes the magic. So the Angulimala chased the Buddha, but somehow because the Buddha already knew how to tame him, so he used his magical power. So Buddha was calmly walking, whereas the Angulimala was running to catch the Buddha so he can kill the Buddha and get the thumb of the Buddha. With the magic that the Buddha used, so he was not able to catch the Buddha, and he was very tired. So then he told the Buddha that stop. Then Buddha said, the Buddha was still walking, and Angulimala was exhausted, so he fell down. So he just kneeled down on the floor and said, stop. Then the Buddha said, I have stopped. While Buddha was still walking, I have stopped, but you haven't. Then that really hit his mind, and suddenly he walks up, from this concept. He was holding on to the killing the 1,000 people and collecting the 1,000 thumbs. Then he said, "You are a liar. You're still walking, and you said that you have stopped, and I am kneeling down here. I am stopped, and you're saying you haven't." Then the Buddha said that, "Oh, I have stopped from killing, but you haven't." So with that, the Angulimala gains the consciousness, kind of recovered from that delusional state, and he thought that this monk is here for help me, here to help me. And that's how the Angulimala stopped doing all those negative or killing, harming beings. In a similar way, if we ponder in our minds how many unwholesome things that we have been doing, how many things that despite we know that that is harming us, despite we know that that is causing us a trouble, do you think we can stop that? Do you think that if we can, let's say, if we can stop that harm or that all the so-called akusaladam, unwholesome activities, then that actually, in a way, we are freed. So that's why it requires the strength, and it requires awareness, this mindfulness, and also ability to let it be, the equanimity, equanimous mind that we have to develop on it. Once we have that, then we're seeing what's happening in my life and what I have been doing in my life. That's and comparing between wholesome and unwholesome activities or thoughts or things that we normally engage, and seeing that whatever I am going through, that actually causing me a trouble. So we have to see that. We have to able to concentrate on that, or being mindful of that. So just being mindful is not enough. We have to apply the sufficient energy, the effort to do something. And then doing that, obviously, it requires something, losing something, gaining. That's why it's called equanimity. As not understanding that whatever we do, it has a consequences, or whatever who is doing, it has a consequences. That consequences, if that is a negative, then drop it away. If that's a positive, keep it going, right? So here, once we know that, we have to keep the mind in a complete in that way, the equanimous mind, right? So when we can do that, what happens? Whatever is unwholesome and that can affect to us in our life, we'll be able to stop there. It's like a Buddha said, "I have stopped, you haven't." So we have to see it very clearly. But in order to see that, it takes time and closely looking at that, observing, ability to observe it very closely in its in its detail. What is the cause? How I'm having this, and how can what I can do it to stop it? Then you're free. So that's why it's called a stopping there, living there. If we can, beautiful. The only matter is that we have a desire, and sometimes that desire is not properly applied to do things, and then we go back again and again in the same circle. Okay? So that's why the practice of a meditation is to develop these at least of the three qualities, like a concentration, and knowing sufficient energy to apply, and ability to let it be. And with that, everything is happening, we will be able to, it's okay, it's okay. So mind is freed, and mind is not attached to it. few days ago I was going through lots of thinking, and I was like very stressed. I went for a long walk and around in the field, and not happened anything. And then I came back to do walking here, and I walking and practicing, and then sitting didn't help. It was just like this ruminating mind, running and running and running. It's like 100 miles per hour. And then at the 7 o'clock, we did a chanting. When I was chanting and I was contemplating on the chanting, then as I was contemplating on the chanting, suddenly I realized all those worries that was causing me troublesome and feel so heavy suddenly disappeared. It just disappeared, so free and so released. So that's why this is the stopping mechanism that we have to develop. Whichever way you can develop, so we have to develop that stopping. And with that, what we are going, let this nature takes away. Rather than we trying to grasp it and put it into ourselves. Just let this nature takes it away, and then that's how we can be free. But obviously it takes time, and obviously it takes lots of practice as well as continue practicing. Right? So I offer this as a reflection for today, and let's practice meditation.